It's that obsessing though. It truly is. I've seen so many writers who will sit there and they will go over the same thing over and over, and it's just not productive at all.
Right. So you really, okay. We can talk. I wanted to talk about
Okay.
once the draft is, because I think we've heard from a few writers that some of them do like 3 to 5 pages a day. So forgive me because I'm not in that space writing scripts, but how are you able to do 15 a day? I mean, that's fantastic.
I think a lot of, well, first of all, I think over time you just get better, right? So, it's that 10,000 hours. Once you put that in and you become the expert in whatever you're doing, you can recognize when things aren't working, you recognize when they are working. For me, to do the 15 pages, you can't waste time at all on obsessing over if you like this scene or you like this line of dialogue. This is it, it's on the page, you move on. And then everything's about coming back and refining it later. But getting it out is a much more productive use of time than getting stuck in sort of that turmoil of not knowing if this is good or if you want to go this direction or whatever. Have to make a decision and move forward. And when you do that, you tend to get a draft done faster, which gives you more time to go back and kind of remold that draft. A lot of writers also turn in their first drafts. And I think it's really important to never show anyone the first draft, to always go back at least once and clean things up, because it makes such a difference.
Well, I was curious, what happens after the 4 weeks? You haven't read it. Let's suppose you have 110 pages or so, give or take. I'm assuming then you're combing through it?
Well, the 110 would be in 3 weeks, so that I would give myself that last week to take a couple days off, right? So at 15 pages a day, what is that for 100 page? I mean, you only really need 10 days, right, to write the initial draft. And then the rest of that is going back up and cleaning it up and moving your act breaks and tweaking dialogue and that kind of stuff.
Oh, and so you throw in the 3 days to let it breathe for a little
Yep.
bit, so you give it some space, and then you come back, and
Yeah.
then bam, it's 4 weeks, and then you have a meeting with someone.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. So 4 weeks, you're showing it to this person, and what is that process like?
So I send it in, and it depends on, usually if it's a very first draft, the producer's going to read it first. They need to make sure that they're on board. And you obviously, when you go to the studio or the network, then you go as a team with the producer. So they are happy with the draft. So they usually give you a set of notes first. I implement those notes. And then once they're happy, then it goes to the network or the studio, and we get their notes back. So by the time they read it, we already know that the producers approved it for budget and they like it. And so you've kind of got that person in your corner to, if there is something to fight for, like if there's I guess if they don't agree with, I don't know, whatever creative decision you've made, the producer is already on board and understanding why you did that, and they're sort of on board with you. So it makes it a more productive meeting also to have that than just like a bunch of different people giving random different notes. Those are the worst, and I've had that experience too, but it's not the best way to do it. It's better to kind of like go through the process correctly, because then the drafts get better and better.
So I'm wondering if we can even go in closer to a day of doing 15 pages. What time do you start? What is it like doing those 15 pages?
I get up early, so I usually get up around 6 and I start writing right away. And I mean, I take a break for lunch when I get hungry, and otherwise, I mean, I'm really just focused on getting those pages done, and that's it. I don't know how to tell you any different. It's just a day, and it's a lot of sitting in front of a computer.
Right, and so you at 6 a.m. you're ready, like...
I get more done in the first 2 hours of my day than probably the last 5 hours of my day. So, whatever I'm doing, if I'm at the gym, it's a better workout in the morning. If I'm here working, it's, I'm more productive, I'm getting more written. So I try to take advantage of those hours. I just happen to be a morning person.
Right, no, I get that, and I know we've talked to other people. I think you have less distractions then too, whether it's just, just knowing you're up before a lot of other people or whatever.
And it's controlling distractions. I mean, you can check email every 10 minutes if you want, or check Facebook every 10 minutes if you want, but you have to force yourself not to do that, because that really interrupts your ability to focus.
And you're forcing yourself not to go back and reread, right? Because then you're going to be stuck on a scene. Interesting. Now, was that always the way for you? Did you go back and reread stuff, and did you learn?
I think I developed that over needing to be able to finish these projects more quickly and find a more efficient way to do it. Because I remember when I was in college and writing, I would do this thing where, I would get obsessed with the writer's block. Oh, I can't get through this scene. This is holding me up, and it's just a waste. And that's fine when you're writing as a hobby. It's not really fine then either, but at least you can manage it. When you have deadlines and you're getting paid and people are expecting scripts and there's a crew waiting on you to do this so they can shoot it, you don't have that luxury anymore. So you just find the most efficient way.